Hi, I'm Degen, this is War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Transcendence and Reincarnations, maybe a little guide. Let's get right into it. I do have to say, it's a very straightforward and pretty simple process. It probably doesn't even really need a guide, as long as you just jump in there. There's a little bit of like advice I can give about it and stuff like that, but first things first, what you need is a character at 120, and not every character right now is transcendable. There's only a short list, but every week or every update, they're going to add more and more to the batch, and eventually we'll be able to do it to everyone. But for now, there's only a few. Little Leela I'm going to use as an example here, because Little Leela's pretty good, and blah blah blah, you know. So, and I have a ton of Mind Spheres for her, so I'm going to be able to do quite a bit here. To start out, what you're going to need is you will need a antler, a Visigenic antler, I guess, and it will depend on the rarity. So you can see I only have one yellow one, that's the SR one. There's also a different one for MR, a different one for URs, and so forth. And then you need some orbs and some imbued fragments of thought or whatever. It depends on your rarity, but you guys get the drill here. All right, so you're going to hit that. This will unlock. Every unit has a unique bestowed effect. For Little Leela, it's HP, Hate, and Silence Spell Enhance, so I'm going to unlock that. Also, you can get Transcendent Mind Spheres, which I'm not going to use these for Leela. I don't need them. I have tons of Little Leela, but I'll show some Transcendent Mind Spheres in a little bit for Sephiroth. Alright, so when you do that, your character becomes level 121. Now, they're always going to be at least level 121. Alright, so then after that, you're like, okay, well, now there's nothing here. What do we do? You go up to the Transcendence button, which used to be the button you would use your EXP cubes on and things like that. And here you go. You just click the Enhance button. Now, you can drag the thing all the way up if you want to just get her to 140 right out the gate and you don't want to transcend too much. I'm going to actually do this to show how it works, but normally I'm not going to want to do this. But I just want to show you that it costs JP, 20 EXP cubes, a couple of these gold EXP cubes, and these statue things. So, added stars. So this is going to add a bunch of stars. Okay, and that's her ability that we saw her unlock. So see how it added stats to all these things. So now she has an extra 430 HP, 6 TP, 7 AP, 13 magic, and so on and so forth. But where the stars are, that's now adding permanently to these three stats. Now, these stats will be permanent if you just want to leave her at 140, set it and forget it. And you're like, all right, I just want this character to be at 140, but I don't want to waste any more resources on it. And you can do this, like if you have a favorite character that you like to play, but you don't want to. Here's the thing, these scrolls are going to be the thing that stunts a lot of people's growth on the whole Transcendence scene, I guess we'll say. So if you don't have a lot of these scrolls, and they can be hard to find sometimes, but there's some in the shop and there's other ways of obtaining some. They gifted us a bunch as well. Then you won't be able to reincarnate too much, but I'm going to reincarnate here, and you're going to see, okay, so it does cost Mind Spheres again, and you can pick to use the Transcendence Mind Spheres, but you're going to see that now all these stats are going to be gone, and we're going to go down from level 140 back to level 121. So she's no longer level 140 anymore, she's now level 121 again, but now there's a permanent stat of +3 magic, +1 accuracy, and +1 crit evade. Now, what you can do is level her up again to 140 again. Or if you're not going all the way to 140, you can click this button, which will just level her until she gets the gold stars, because the gold stars do come at random. If you were to level 1 by 1, you would see you don't get a gold star every level. They just randomly come. You'll get 3 gold stars. And yeah, so if you click this, it will set it with the max stats, but it won't necessarily use all that stuff. See, look at that. So she actually just got all of her gold stars by the 7th level up. So as you can see it kind of back here. She's only level 121. All right. Now she got 2 into accuracy there and 1 into HP. That's not bad. And we saved some mats because she only had to go 7 levels. She only had to go to 127 instead of 140. So I'll do it again. And this will reset her back to 121 again. And it keeps track of the amount of times you reincarnated as well. So now we have permanent +3 accuracy. Still +3 magic, +23 HP. Okay, so one more time. All stars clicked. Let's see, this time, okay, so remember last time she got the 3 stars in 7 levels? Well, this time it took 17. So now she is up to level 137. I hope this doesn't seem complicated because it's very simple. This is way easier and more friendly to do than like trust stones and stuff like that. So I hope people are enjoying this new game mode. It can be a bit overwhelming as far as like whaliness goes because scrolls are hard to find. And so are antlers. You might not have many or any antlers in order to transcend a lot of your units. And these things are going to hold people back. So you're not going to have like a full roster of level 140 units within a month or anything like that. But antlers will come with time. And so will scrolls. And you'll be able to... You'll see some people out there that will have reincarnated like 50 times or more on characters. And you'll be like, dang, I want that to be me. And... it might not be able to be you unless you plan on whaling a bunch, but anyways, so these green stars are good. Now, say you're like, okay, I'm 137, but I'm done enhancing this character for now. I only have however many scrolls left. I am going to finish this out. I'm going to go the rest of the way to 140. So you can just knock this out. You won't get any more green stars for this. But you will get more yellow stats, and you're like, all right, I'm going to leave her at 140 now for the next month. And then just save my scrolls in case I would rather use them on someone else. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you're just going to use every scroll you have on the character you're working on, and that's fine. If it's a character you really like, or you think will be a really good fit for your team, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so this is how it works. This is an SR unit, of course. I'll go and do one on Sephiroth, and I'll show you why I didn't want to do this on Sephiroth. For one, his Mind Spheres are a lot harder to get than Little Leela's. And for two, although you can use the Transcendence Mind Spheres, for two, these Rainbow Scrolls are so hard to come by, right now at least, that I didn't want to just throw them all into Sephiroth. I'm really curious about Hio. I don't know about you guys, but I'm super curious about Hio. I'm on the fence. I don't know if I want to just blow all these into Sephiroth as much as I can, or if I want to see what Hio brings to the table. Now, he has a fire unit, and Sephiroth is a dark unit, so I think dark has the advantage there of not having, like, a solid weakness. But at the same time, Sephiroth's just Sephiroth. He's pretty cool. Hio is pretty cool, too. But anyways, that conversation is for another video or stream. Anyways, so... this is what's going to happen. I have him at 140, but I have 20... whoops. I do have 20 of these to use, the Transcendent Mind Spheres. So now I'm showing you that you can do this with Transcendent Mind Spheres as well, instead of just using the character's Mind Spheres, in this case Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I can show you how to get Transcendence Mind Spheres as well. But we're going to hit this. Alright, so my game just crashed while I was recording that, but we're back. Anyways, so what I was saying is we'll use these Transcendence Mind Spheres. I'll show you how to get these in a minute. And yeah, we'll just go right into it. We're going all in. Bingo, bango, bongo. So, we reincarnated him, so now he's back down to 121. Now, I don't have more Mind Spheres to use on him. Right? Whoops. Wrong button. I don't have more Mind Spheres to use on him right now, so I just want to get him to 140 so I can use him at 140. He's only been reincarnated twice. And yeah, so these are my permanent stars so far. So I'm just going to get him to 140 for now just to use them. So you might want to just get to 140 for that bestowed effect, even if the stats aren't a ton. And bam. So you get this, and then... and yeah, and then you can just chill there. You don't have to worry about using the scrolls if you don't want to. Bestowed effect is almost like another mastery, basically. But yeah, so I'm going to chill on this for a bit. I'm going to wait for Hio, plus I'm going to wait for more Sephiroth Mind Spheres to come in. In order to get the Transcendence Mind Spheres, you just come here on your character screen, you go to Transcendence Mind Sphere Exchange Shop, pretty straightforward, right? And then you click on the type you want. I'm sure most people are going to want to be just trading for Rainbow, but there might be other occasions where you might want some others. And then the rates you trade these in are wild. If you're doing an SR, you can trade 100 SR Mind Spheres for 1 Rainbow Mind Sphere. So keep that in mind. I could get only, with 8,000 little Leela ones, I could only get 82 Rainbow. So that's crazy. Now for the MR ones, it costs 20 per, which doesn't seem as bad. It depends if you ever feel, if you're like, you know, I could see myself transcending Ramada someday, so I don't really want to trade 20 at a time. But if you feel like, I'll probably never transcend Ramada, or at least not for another 7 years, then I think it's solid. You can just trade some. I wouldn't go too overboard, but that's just me personally. You can if you want, especially if it's a character you know you're never going to transcend. And now for the UR units, these are all MR units here. Okay, the UR units only cost 5, so you can trade them a little easier. Now, if you have like UR units that you have a ton of excess Mind Spheres for, like I have Engelbert already at 120, and so I could trade some of these up. If I went 20, that's not too bad, right? It would delete 100 Engelbert Mind Spheres, but then it would make 20 Mind Spheres that I could use on Sephiroth, for example. So it's not that bad. I wouldn't want to do it with Engelbert because I feel like I would want to transcend Engelbert someday, possibly. But other characters like that, maybe that you don't feel that you would ever want to transcend, maybe like Stern, or I don't know, there's probably characters out there that you personally might not use, or you might just have like 10,000 other Mind Spheres for some reason too. If you've been stocking up on Mind Spheres from like Guild Shop and Friend Metal Shop and stuff like that, you probably have a ton of those characters that are in there. Yeah, I don't know, I hope this helped. I feel like it's not a complicated system. I feel like you can just get into it, and as soon as you mess around with it for like 5 minutes, you'll totally be like, oh, well, that's not bad at all. I got this. This is easy. The only thing that I say to maybe be careful with or whatever is make sure you don't overuse your antlers and or scrolls, because they are pretty limited. So don't just like go and transcend every unit that you can. You might regret it in a little bit, like when you're like, oh man, I don't have the scrolls for this. So make sure, at least early on, later on we might have these things coming out of all of our holes. But for now, just be careful who you use. Make sure it's a unit that you're really gonna take advantage of and utilize and use, maybe for guild battle or for some kind of content that you really want to clear. Or if it's like if Sephiroth is your favorite character, or Cloud or whoever, and you're like, you know what, this is my main, I love this guy, I'm definitely gonna do it there. Or like Tifa or whoever, you know. So then feel free, just use it on them in that case. But just be warned that this stuff is limited to an extent. You can buy more with money or paid viz and stuff like that, but even those are limited. Like you can't just buy an unlimited amount of these. So even if you're buying some, even those have limits. So yeah, so just be careful there, and yeah, just have fun with the system. I've thought it's pretty cool so far, and I love how it's pretty simple. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask, or you could join my Discord, and you know, there will always be people in there that will be able to help you out. And yeah, I hope this helped. It might not help anyone, I don't know. Like I said, the system's pretty simple. Doesn't really need a guide, but maybe people just wanted to see it in action before tackling it themselves, or you know, stuff like that. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Hope it helped if you were feeling a little lost. And yeah, just have a good rest of your day. See you later.